ever scroll through the news and think, why does the Middle East always seem to be in crisis? I mean, year after year, it's headlines about conflict, protests, or people forced from their homes. If it feels like déjà vu, well, you're not imagining it. So why does this region seem to be stuck on repeat? Is it just politics, or is there something deeper going on? You see, the Middle East sits at the crossroads of history, religion, and geography. It's home to ancient cities, sacred sites, and, let's be honest, a lot of oil. Over centuries, it's been invaded, carved up, and ruled by empires from near and far. Even today, old colonial borders drawn with more rulers than reason still shape the map. But here's the thing. While politicians and headlines love simple answers, real life's a bit messier. There's a tangle of ethnic groups, religious differences, and outside interests all pulling in different directions. And every time one crisis calms down, another seems to pop up. Not always for the same reasons. Sometimes it's about power, sometimes resources, and sometimes it's just people fighting to be heard in a world that seems to tune them out. So, is the Middle East doomed to endless conflict? Or is there a bigger picture we're missing? One where hope and resilience matter just as much as headlines. Let's keep questioning, keep listening, and never forget the real people behind the news. Because if history teaches us anything, it's that nothing stays the same forever. All right, let's talk about a hot topic. Does the Bible actually predict modern wars? I get asked this all the time, especially when the news feels like a highlight reel from Revelation. Now, the Bible absolutely talks about wars and rumors of wars. You'll find it in places like Matthew 24 or the Old Testament prophets. But here's the thing. It doesn't name drop any modern country or call out your neighbor's Wi-Fi password. What it does is paint a broad picture. Wars, conflicts, and unrest, they're part of the human experience, especially as we get closer to, well, the end of the story. So, does the Bible predict specific wars or just general patterns? Honestly, it's more about patterns. It's like your grandma saying, as long as there are humans, there'll be squabbles at the dinner table. The Bible is showing us that conflict is a symptom of a deeper human issue. It's not about predicting which nation's going to squabble next. Are these conflicts signs or just history doing the same old dance? That's the million-dollar question. I'd say it's a bit of both. The Bible's prophecies are meant to keep us alert, not anxious. So, how should we interpret these events? Carefully, with wisdom, and a hefty dose of humility. It's easy to grab a headline and play prophecy detective, but that's not the point. And what does this mean for believers? Don't panic, stay grounded. Wars come and go, but faith, hope, and love outlast them all. Maybe the real message is to focus less on predicting and more on living out what matters. So, what do you think? Are these divine predictions or just history being history? All right, let me ask you something. When you hear the word prophecy, do you picture charts, dates, and maybe a few wild predictions about the end of the world? You're not alone. But here's the twist. Biblical prophecy isn't about picking sides in today's political shouting matches. It's less about whose flag are you waving, and more about what's really going on behind the scenes. Think about it. The Bible's prophecies often point to patterns, rising tensions, unrest, instability. Sound familiar? It's like history's on repeat, only the actors change their costumes. But instead of obsessing over who's right or wrong, maybe we should be asking, what do these patterns actually mean? Are we so busy debating headlines that we miss the warning signs blinking right in front of us? Let's be honest. When instability ramps up, it's a reminder. The world's always shifting, but God's message stays the same. Pay attention, look deeper, and don't get distracted by the noise. So here's what I'm chewing on. Are we focusing too much on who's right instead of what it means? What patterns should we actually be paying attention to? Are these events really lining up with what the Bible warned about? And if so, what are these signs pointing toward next? Maybe prophecy isn't here to satisfy our curiosity. It's here to sharpen our awareness. So, what do you think? Are we missing the real message? All right, let's be real for a minute. If you've cracked open the Bible lately, especially the prophetic bits, it's kinda hard to miss a theme. Things get messy before they get better. Not exactly the instant peace many folks are hoping for. Scripture actually points to a world that feels like it's spinning out of control. More conflicts, more instability, global distress kicking up a notch every year. Why? Well, prophecy paints a picture of chaos ramping up, not winding down. A bit like a storm before the calm. So why would things escalate instead of improve? According to the text, it's all part of a bigger plan, one that shakes up the world, strips away the illusions, and, tests people at their core. Real transformation, whether in a person or a planet, usually starts with things getting uncomfortable. But here's the kicker. Are we expecting peace when prophecy actually hints at the opposite? Maybe deep down, we just want a shortcut to the happy ending. But the process, the rough patches, well, those are baked into the story for a reason. How do we get ready for all this instability? Simple answer. Prepare your heart, get wise, and don't freak out when headlines get wild. Prophecy's not here to scare us. It's here to help us get ready, to remind us what matters most. So, what about the near future? Expect some bumps, but also expect meaning, hope, and moments of clarity right in the chaos. Because sometimes the mess is just the beginning of something new. You ever notice how a conflict thousands of miles away can suddenly make your morning coffee cost more? Strange, right? But that's the world we live in now, connected in ways that can make your head spin. When a war breaks out, it's not just soldiers and politicians who feel it. Prices jump, markets shake. People flee their homes, hoping for a safer life somewhere else. And even if you're sitting in your living room halfway around the globe, you might feel it in the pit of your stomach. A worry you can't quite name. Why do these distant wars hit so close? Well, think about this. Countries trade, share energy, swap technology. If one piece of the puzzle falls, everything shifts. Suddenly, your gadget shipment is delayed or your favorite chocolate bar costs twice as much. Not exactly a world-ending disaster, but it adds up. And let's be honest, uncertainty has a way of spreading. Headlines get scarier, flights get pricier. People start to worry, and that worry spreads faster than any news story. The truth is, we're all a lot closer than we think. A war in one place sends ripples everywhere, economically, emotionally, even politically. So, are we underestimating how much these faraway conflicts matter? Are we ready to face a world that's more connected, but also more unpredictable? Or are we just hoping the next crisis won't land on our doorstep? Something to chew on next time you hear about trouble far from home. Because in today's world, far away isn't really that far at all. Have you ever noticed how these days it feels like we're all just surviving? Not living, not growing, not really seeing, just getting through the next deadline, the next headline, the next bit of bad news. It's like the world's got us all running on a hamster wheel, powered by fear, and we can't step off for even a second. Once upon a time, my focus was on something deeper. I'd wake up and think about purpose, meaning, what I was really here for. Now, it's more like, did I lock the door? Where's my phone? Is the world ending today or tomorrow? Fear has this sly way of hijacking our attention. It pulls us out of the present, out of our spirit, and dumps us headfirst into survival mode. And let's be honest, distraction is everywhere. Notifications, alarms, the endless scroll, each one a tiny thief, stealing our peace and replacing it with a sense of urgency that never quite goes away. The question is, are all these distractions pulling us away from what matters most? So here's what I want to ask you, and myself honestly. Are we becoming more focused on survival than purpose? How does fear really affect our spiritual lives? What are we slowly losing focus on as we chase the next thing and the next and the next? Maybe it's time to pause, take a deep breath, and remember why we're here. Not just to survive, but to live, to love, to connect, and to grow. The real question: what will you choose to focus on today? Ever notice how chaos seems to come knocking right when you're trying your best to stay grounded? Maybe you're reading, meditating, or just sitting quietly, and suddenly your phone dings, a worry pops up, or the news blares in the background. It's like life knows exactly when to pull your attention away. But here's the thing: sometimes distraction isn't just an inconvenience. It's strategic. Fear, noise, and confusion. They can act like smoke bombs, blinding us from seeing what really matters. And let's be honest, it's a lot easier to scroll endlessly or stress over the latest headline than to stay present, focused, and connected to your faith. So I have to ask, could distraction be even more dangerous than the chaos itself? Think about it. When believers lose focus, faith doesn't just fade quietly. It gets drowned out by the constant buzz of everything else. Suddenly, we're reacting to the world's noise instead of listening for that still, small voice within. Who actually benefits when we're spiritually distracted? It's probably not us. Sometimes the enemy isn't the chaos, but the fact we let it steal our attention from deeper purpose. So, next time the world feels wild and noisy, just pause. Ask yourself, am I grounded right now, or just reacting? And if distraction is the real enemy, what can I do today to win back my focus and reconnect with what truly matters? Stay curious, stay focused, and keep seeking the deeper things. You ever feel like the world's just lost the plot? News flashing across your screen, chaos everywhere, and you're left thinking, how am I supposed to keep my faith steady in all this noise? Well, let me tell you, it's not about pretending the chaos isn't there. It's about shifting from just watching it all happen to getting intentional about where you stand. First up, prayer. Not just the bless my day kind, but the honest, raw conversations with God. Tell Him what you're worried about, ask for wisdom, and actually listen. Prayer grounds you. It's like having an anchor in the middle of a storm. Next, awareness. Don't walk through life with blinders on. Notice what's happening, but don't let fear take the wheel. The world's always had its wild moments. Our job isn't to panic, but to stay awake and aware, trusting God's got the bigger picture. Now, faith isn't just a feeling you get when things are good. It's a choice, every day. It's deciding to trust God's promises even when everything else is shouting otherwise. Staying aligned with God means looking at the mess and saying, all right, I trust you anyway. So let me leave you with a few questions. How should you respond to global conflict as a believer? Are you reacting emotionally or responding spiritually? What does it mean for you to stay grounded in times like this? And most importantly, are you living differently because of what you know? The world might go wild, but your faith doesn't have to. You know, it's easy to let fear run the show these days. Flip on the news, scroll your phone, and it feels like confusion and anxiety are just waiting to jump out and grab you. But hey, let's be honest. Withdrawing or hiding isn't the answer. The Bible has something better for us. Truth. Real, anchoring, hope-filled truth that cuts through the noise. Remember how Paul told Timothy, God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. That's not just a catchy verse for coffee mugs. That's a call to action. So what does it look like to live boldly right now with all this uncertainty swirling around? First, clarity comes when you replace worry with wisdom. Instead of spiraling with what if, start asking what's true. Second, faith isn't just for the mountaintop moments. It's in the quiet, step-by-step trust that God is bigger than your what-ifs. Are you feeding your fear, or are you strengthening your faith by remembering God's promises every day? And third, confidence doesn't mean having all the answers. It means knowing who holds the answers. Jesus said, "In this world you will have trouble. But take heart, I have overcome the world." So, let me ask you, how do you plan to replace fear with clarity this week? What truths are you holding tight to? Are you giving fear the upper hand, or choosing to live with bold faith? Let's choose faith. Let's live boldly. The world needs it. Every time you turn on the news, it seems like the chaos in the Middle East is getting worse. Maybe you feel that pain and uncertainty, even from miles away. I know I do. There's so much instability, it's easy to wonder, what's really going on? The Bible actually talks a lot about war. But here's the twist. It's not about picking sides, it's about noticing patterns that have already been foretold. Prophecy, you see, isn't a crystal ball. It's more like a warning light on your dashboard. It says, heads up, these things will happen, and they might get even more intense before they settle. But here's where things get tricky. When the world goes into panic mode, fear spreads like wildfire. It's not just about bombs and borders anymore, it's about distraction. Suddenly, I find myself shifting from living with purpose to just trying to survive each day. And that's the real strategy behind all this chaos. Distraction. If I lose focus, my faith gets put on the back burner. The Bible doesn't call me to hide or panic. It calls me to stay grounded, alert and faithful, to choose truth over fear, even when the world is shaking. So here's the real question. With everything going on, what is my focus right now? Am I just reacting, or am I anchored in something deeper? What's one thing I need to change to stay steady, even if things get worse? Because the chaos may keep coming, but my foundation doesn't have to move. So, how steady is your faith today?